Welcome back to discuss the unexpected luxury side of Siem Reap shopping. First up, Lotus Farm Samatoa. If you want to check out their website, it's samatoa.lotus-flower-fabric.com. They sell not only lotus silk, one of the most expensive fabrics in the world, but kapuk fabric, banana fabric, and various blends, including their UNESCO prize-winning proprietary Lotus Silk Traditional Silk blend, which is my favorite of them. These fabrics are not cheap. A 200 by 85 centimeter UNESCO blend sarong goes for between $400 and $800, depending on how much money they're pulling in lately. They mostly focus on designer wholesale orders. Obviously, widths, fabric blends, weaves, and dyes can all be custom made for you. One fine day when I can afford it, my dream is to buy 6 or 7 yards of the 50/50 Lotus Silk traditional silk organza in the pink and white pinstripe and make some Claire McCardell dress with it. The reason lotus silk is so expensive is it's harvested by hand from lotus stalks, filament by filament, literally. On the tour, the owner will first explain why lotus silk is so special. It's incredibly absorbent, naturally antimicrobial, organic, and renewable, obviously. Also, during craft day, you break apart lotus stems and twist the wet filaments to make a Buddhist thread style candle, make a sort of rough paper from lotus pulp, make old fashioned incense sticks, drink lotus tea, eat lotus seeds, string dried lotus seeds onto a lotus silk yarn to make a bracelet. And the best part, at sunset, you take a short motorbike ride to an absolutely impoverished little village close by on the Lotus Lake, where one of the lotus farmers takes you out on his boat and you can see the flowers, take pictures of the sunset. It's a fantastic experience, an excellent value. It's really a head to toe, faultlessly ethical business, an incredible rarity in the modern world. It takes 3 weeks to harvest enough thread to make a single scarf, which then takes 9 days to weave. So if you want a gown, imagine. They do sell little things you can buy as souvenirs, $60 hairbands, $45 face masks. One tip I have for visiting, you absolutely must arrange with a tuk-tuk to take you there, wait for you, and then take you back to your hotel. Farm and shop are in the middle of nowhere. A solid 40-minute drive outside of Siem Reap proper. Grab does not work out there. The tuk-tuk drivers park their steeds on the riverbanks and start drinking together at 4 p.m. You will not be able to get a ride back. Arrange your own transportation in advance if you don't want to find yourself in an impossible, unsafe situation.
We can use natural dye, but we are limited in terms of range of color.
For sure.
And many fashion designers, they bring their own color, and we have to create. So we use also a dye star. Dye.
Okay.
And here comes from. Yeah. You know why we?
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you know why we grow lotus in Cambodia? If in big quantity?
For the temples, maybe? Yeah.
Because this is a sacred flower.
Yeah.
The one that you can offer to the monk.
Yeah.
And that is used for Buddhism ceremony.
Yeah.
The second activity is for the seeds. With other textile, and this one is a kapok. Kapok is grown in abundance in Cambodia in big quantity. They used to fill the pillow. And if you look on internet, they will tell you that this fiber cannot be spun because it's too short fiber. But the Cambodian girls, they can do it, and they create the first kapok textile in the world.
Yeah, I definitely don't have the patience for this. This is like a meditation.
Yes, exactly.
That's very cool.
To define the properties of the fiber, what we have to do is to observe it with the microscope because it's 1 micron diameter. from the bobbin, they will do a micro bobbin. And this micro bobbin we will use in order to put inside the shuttle.
Yeah.
So we put it inside and then we will create the weft. Do that, and that. So that for a scarf like that, it takes 3 days to prepare the loom.
Wow, and you built these looms for this?
Yes, actually this is a traditional loom that we have improved in order to get a real regularity on the density.
Yeah.
Huge lake from here to Phnom Penh, 300 kilometers.
Okay.
And we are at the end of raining season,
Uh-huh.
so it has overflowed
Oh,
for,
I see what you mean.
for 10 kilometers maybe.
So it naturally becomes a rice paddy.
Yes.
It's not like the people are being relocated forcefully or something.
Not at all. No.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Cheers. Next up, IKTT, which is short for Institute of Khmer Traditional Textiles. To quote their website, the IKTT specializes in the revival of Khmer silk ikat. Throughout history, Khmer silk weaving has been regarded among the best in the world. However, after years of war, this ancient art form nearly vanished. The beauty of such silk has been its savior. Founded in 1996 by Kikuo Morimoto, we take a purist approach to the reproduction of traditional textiles, not just by recreating the style, but by following the traditional practice seen 1,000 years ago in the ancient times of the Angkor dynasty. To achieve this, we have replanted a traditional forest to cultivate everything from the natural dyes to the silk in a rich natural environment. End quote. The purist approach is three-pronged: Cambodian golden silkworms, natural dyes from local plants, and hand spinning, tying for ikat, and weaving. Everything is done to the highest traditional standards. They offer some souvenir items like kerchiefs and shawls in solids or non-traditional oversized gingham, but every padan or religious wall hanging and sempot hall or women's ikat skirt is traditional in every respect. They have their own mulberry tree forest and their own lac insect nests, pro hut trees, almond trees, lychee trees, annatto plants, and wild Cambodian indigo plants to make their own dyes. Around 160 people, those working in production and their families, live in their own old-fashioned weaving village. They use the dye techniques and around 200 weaving patterns handed down from their ancestors. I think one of the best things about shopping at IKTT is seeing the year your piece was made, the natural plant dyes used, and the weaver. You truly buy an heirloom, not just a skirt or a scarf. Being perfectly historic, all production is, of course, 100% organic and sustainable. They seem to be financially supported primarily through a Japanese clientele and network cultivated over 20-odd years by their founder, but they do have a shop in Siem Reap and a strong Instagram presence. Sempot hauls are available at the shop or by custom order. It takes 2 to 3 months for a sempot haul or padan to be made, perhaps more depending on the season and its intricacy. A traditional size Cambodian sempot haul is around 2 meters by 1 meter, perhaps a bit smaller. Cambodian women are quite small. A heavier woman can order an extra long version to ensure sufficient drape, but due to the dimensions of the traditional looms, no skirt will be full length or even ankle length, really, on anyone over 5'5" or so. Midori, the contact person, responds very quickly to any inquiry and will quote a price per meter for designs. For one of the traditional sempot hauls, expect to pay around $600 per meter. A complicated padan will be more, a solid or simple stripe type less. That breaks down to between $1,000 and $2,000 per skirt, depending on the dyes, weave, size, time, etc. Again, is it worth it? I think so. Machine-made solid or print skirts from Valentino, Loro Piana are $4,500 now. With that money, you could keep a Cambodian weaver employed for a year, support a fragile heritage, and walk away with 3 to 4 heirlooms. Finally, there is Golden Silk Pheach. A Cambodian raised in France, Pheach's trajectory since returning to Cambodia has been much like the founder of IKTT's. She bought a small farm, planted mulberry trees, feeds them to indigenous Cambodian golden silkworms only, grows and buys local natural dyes only, and employs and trains local women in traditional techniques. The main difference is that while IKTT is primarily interested in providing historically accurate products, Pheach has a very refined aesthetic and is able to use traditional techniques to create modern products that recall their traditional origins in the most elegant way. A tour at Golden Silk is like a personal couture appointment with Pheach. She explains the history of Cambodian golden silk weaving since Angkor times and how the rare Cambodian golden silkworms are superior to the genetically modified white silkworms used elsewhere in the world. She also explains not only how ikat dyeing works, but where she gets her inspiration for her modern designs and how they build custom looms for large textiles. A small scarf at the shop is around $500. The larger and more intricate they get, they climb over 1,000, 2,000, etc. Some of the largest, most difficult designs can only be executed by an artisan with many years of experience, who then requires another 2 to 3 years of full-time work just to complete the piece. When they turn yellow, you pick them up?
Yes, and then we put it into the basket so they can start to spin. She soaked one of the older thread, and then by soaking some of the cocoon with the boiling water, it will attach automatically to the old one, the new with the old one.
Got it.
How she cut the first layer out. You can see that when it's coming out, it's different from the older.
Yeah.
It's much more thicker.
Yes, yes. So she's spinning it.
Yeah, she's spinning it. And then when she reaches the inner, she gives to her to do the inner layer.
Oh, okay. So you can,
How many thread of each cocoon attached to form one of the thread?
Yeah.
It's like 30 to 50 layers. If you go closer, you see?
Yeah. It's much finer.
Just to go inside, it's still yellow.
Yeah, the color of the inside portion is even brighter.
Yes, it's brighter. The thread is not has impurity. She has to stop and she has to remove with a spoon or or a razor.
So you have to feel it and look at it.
Yes, and then it go to be twisted so that you can use the thread. So we twist by this machine with the bicycle.
Got it.
Turn it, twist it probably, and then you can get that is twist and that is not clean and not twist. Learn like 10 years to be able to do movement. First it was geometrical, what has been done before, but I said we have to go further, we have to move forward. You know how to not just by reading on graph paper. So they are capable of reading it. So I said, on the side put the dragonfly.
I love it.
I love it.
I do. I really do. This is how you choose the motifs. You are inspired by the old art.
The thread is thin, you can go further, longer. If the thread is thick, then you can go 2 meters.
Right. How many centimeters can they do in a day? Like that. Yeah.
See, now she finished it. She will move the other bobbin, and she adjust it into the shutter, and then put into the hole. Take it out. Go 1 stroke from the left, to the right
Mhm.
and adjusting line by line before compressing it.
Do any lefties work here?
No.
No, only right-handed.
I'm right-handed.
Okay.
My husband is left.
Yeah.
And when we have a daughter,
Mhm.
the first thing he was looking is if she's left-handed or she's right-handed. Yes, one by one, and she counted, and then she moved it, mix all together as I told you.
Right.
The brocade is like this, and the ikat is on that thread. You see?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's all the lines are. All the lines in one thread. You have the pattern inside of thread.
Wow.
And then they will that first work on the brocade, and then throw one stroke for the ikat. Even ikat has a pedal to create the texture.
Okay.
We don't have damask. We don't have plain flat.
Yeah.
We have this movement of creating the, as you said, the texture.
That's so interesting. So much unexpected food for thought about history, globalization, capitalism, climate change, the current world order. As more and more people become interested in and practice slow fashion and its tenets of maximum supply chain transparency, maximum worker welfare, and minimum environmental impact, each of these businesses provides a really interesting working model, and I hope they become increasingly sustainable. I, for one, will certainly be patronizing them as much as I can afford. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.